What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be discussing two players that could be, most likely are, on the trade block for the Chicago Bulls. And those two players are both Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball. Two of our big core, when we actually, had that big core that did alright for a stretch, are now on the trading block for the Chicago Bulls for multiple different reasons, of course, as they are two completely different situations. Nevertheless, this seems to signal, in my opinion, the end of this big continuity factor for the Chicago Bulls if they are able to complete the moves for both Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball. Now, all I'm really going to do is give my opinion on this situation. I also want to quickly talk a little bit more about DeMar DeRozan. There is more news coming out about his situation, so there's a lot to talk about. And again, to some very big parts of this team. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls. And I guess, seeing some of these players leave, how's that going to make you feel? Is there a bittersweet feeling to it? Are you obviously sad to see them go, but happy for the direction that we're going in? Do you just purely hate the idea of seeing big players leave the Chicago Bulls? Or are you just excited? Are you happy? Who cares? Sayonara. Let's go. Let's move on to the different direction. I think there's an element of bittersweetness to it, in all honesty. For example, a player like Lonzo Ball. We'll talk about him first. Obviously, him being on the trading block is not surprising to me. But I will always say this. I will keep on saying it to the moon and back. I think it's a complete waste of time if we buy him out. I do not want to see that happen. I think it's a waste of time. We're still going to have to pay him the money. All we get is a roster spot to go and sign a cheaper guy that will probably be nowhere near as good. I'd rather just give Lonzo Ball the chance in the hopes that he could be good than just completely let go of him for absolutely nothing. Trading him is a different story, though. I would like to trade Lonzo Ball. And at the end of the day, it's not because I don't like Lonzo Ball. It's just because this team is very similar to the LaVine situation, is going in a different direction. And Lonzo Ball might not be a risk that we're willing to take on right now. Maybe, maybe not. Who really knows? And plus, if you do trade him, if you get cheaper contracts back, or you get picks back, or you get whatever you get back, you could use whatever money that you have left to go and get other people. It makes sense to trade Lonzo Ball. In my opinion, it makes no sense to buy him out. And that's what I'm hoping we do not do. Let's just say there is no trade for Lonzo Ball. And you just buy him out. I understand sometimes you have to cop that it's just not the right move, but you have to do it anyway just so you can move on. But I'd rather just give him the chance and see what he could do with it, of course. But yeah, it's bittersweet because Lonzo Ball's injury was just so significant and unique, and it took him out for so long. Like, you can't explain it. It's just, you just don't want to see something like that in many ways. And that's why it's bittersweet, because, of course, the direction that we go in if we trade Lonzo Ball is an interesting and fun one. But to not get the best out of Lonzo Ball, to not even get close to it, to kind of see what he could do and have it ripped away from you so quickly, it's very frustrating and it's definitely very annoying. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Zach LaVine is a bit of a different situation, though. Now, put your hands up if you are surprised that Zach LaVine is on the trade block. No one? Because this is not new news. Everybody knows Zach LaVine is on the trade block. Apparently, there are even reports going on the line saying that the relationship has fractured completely between the front office and Zach LaVine, which is not surprising because I guess an unsettled player is going to stir some stuff up at the end of the day, and you just have to take that until you eventually get him the move that he wants. The problem with Zach LaVine is, it doesn't seem like many teams are willing to offer that much for Zach LaVine. So what do you do then? Do you keep the unsettled player in the hopes that you could get something better? Does Zach LaVine have to earn his trade value and get it to rise before he gets a move? Will Zach LaVine simply have to sit here and remain a Chicago Bull because there is no good value for him? Or do the Bulls have to suck it up and take the hit and take the loss for Zach LaVine and trade him for peanuts, essentially? I honestly don't know. But all the rumors I've seen is that the Bulls are not getting that much from Zach LaVine. Yes, there might be 15 teams or whatever the case may be in conversations, but it doesn't look like anyone's getting anywhere close to the value at least AK wants. And that's extremely frustrating. And it must be frustrating for everybody involved, including Zach LaVine. The only thing I can think of about this situation is I absolutely wished that Zach LaVine got traded to the Pistons instead of having that foot surgery. I just think we should have tried to do that deal as quickly as possible before his entire surgery. I'm not going to sit here and say Zach LaVine purposefully took the surgery. I don't know, but whatever the case may be, this seems to be a little bit frustrating now and very annoying to kind of witness. And look, Zach LaVine is a player that I will always like. And I do like Zach LaVine, and I hope he goes on and has a successful career no matter where he goes. But it's getting to the point now where things are getting so frustrating that I can see why fans might be starting to turn on him a little bit. And again, it's not necessarily Zach LaVine's fault. It's just the frustration that nothing is getting done about this situation when we've known for almost a season that Zach LaVine has wanted to leave. So it's just frustration at this point from both sides. Frustration on the Bulls side, frustration on LaVine's side, frustration on the fan side. We just want something to happen in this regard. I've heard a lot of people suggest that we might have to keep LaVine. Look, I can repeat everything I've said for the past 6-7 months. Heck, I've been saying this saying for 4 years on this channel essentially now. I don't want a player who doesn't want to be here. I'd rather take the hit. I'd rather take the hit and trade him for peanuts than to keep him around and have him sit on this bench or have him start when we're trying to lose games or trying to go younger, or heck, even just let him sit out his contract. I don't want any of those things to happen with Zach LaVine. I want him to eventually get his trade so he could salvage that relationship with the Bulls fans and himself, but also so he could go and actually play and have his, at least, career next season mean something. It's not going to mean anything in Chicago if he comes back here. It just isn't. I don't think the relationship can be restored, at least from the Bulls front office and Zach LaVine. I think the fans, that could always be restored. I think you give him 5-10 years and we're going to look back on Zach LaVine with fond memories. But it is what it is from that standpoint. I quickly wanted to mention DeMar DeRozan before we head off. Obviously, I made a video about DeMar DeRozan yesterday suggesting that I can't see how he stays with the Chicago Bulls any longer. And there was rumors that the Bulls and DeMar DeRozan, basically that's it, essentially. And DeMar DeRozan has to go and look for another team. Well, there's even more rumors about DeMar DeRozan suggesting he's going to have to take that pay cut, that 1-year mid-level exception, or that $20 million contract to go and sign for a team because the money he's asking for is so much. Now look, I just feel like the market for DeMar DeRozan is kind of poor at the moment. I think DeMar DeRozan is worth money. I don't think he's worth $40 million, but I think he could be worth $28 million like he was last time. I would even go $30 to $35 million if a team really wanted him. But at the end of the day, the market has just kind of capped out in many ways. No team has any money left to spend. That's kind of how I feel in this situation. So it does make sense for DeMar DeRozan to take that short-term deal to go to a team. Because again, the last thing he wants is to not have a team in free agency. That's not going to happen. He's going to find his team eventually. And maybe that is with the Lakers. The Heat have been rumored. I don't know how he works on the Heat. I don't even know how he works on the Lakers. But if those two teams are interested, go for it. There's even rumors that LeBron will take a pay cut to see DeMar DeRozan play for the Lakers. I'd like to see that. That'd be very interesting. I'd like to see how LeBron and DeRozan would play together. I think it'd be a very interesting dynamic duo there. And there also is rumors that the Bulls could be working on a sign-and trade. We'll have to wait and see on that one as well. Normally in sign and trades, we don't seem to get a fair shake of things. We don't get fair value in return, but that's the point of a sign and trade. We're basically helping the other team get DeMar DeRozan to them. So we will probably not get a good return, but at least it will be something compared to nothing for DeMar DeRozan. You might be wondering, why has Nikola Vucevic not been mentioned at all? Well, to be quite frank, there's no rumors right now about Nikola Vucevic. There was rumors that he is on the trade block, but that was at least a week ago. What I'll say about Vucevic is this. People are already assuming he's going to stay on the Bulls. Bulls work in silence. Torres Carnosovas and Mark Eversley and the rest of the Bulls regime, they don't leak things out before it happens. When we signed Jalen Smith, that wasn't a rumor. That literally just happened. When the Bulls traded Alex Caruso, there was no rumor the day before that it was going to happen. It just happened. So just because it's quiet does not mean things are not happening. So keep your eyes out for all Bulls news. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.